Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 2. Thanks for coming back. While we were doing a little bit of settings changing, just to make sure everything works okay, Whattageek was examining the chessboard. You said you had something to say about it?
So it's turn 5 right now, I'm pretty sure. 5 moves have been done for the white side. Black has yet to make their 5th move. Maybe there's something symbolic in this, I don't know. White has castled, so the king is off to the right, and the rook has swapped places with it. The bishop, the white bishop, like on the white tiles, is blocked its backwards retreat by the pawn now. And black can take the knight with its bishop, although that would set up its bishop. But anyway, point being, white has blocked off the bishop, they've knighted, and it's now black's turn. I don't know if that's going to come into use at all. It'd be really cool if it did.
You know what I think is interesting about this is that the black side of the board is facing Zach, but Zach is associated with the color white. For anyone who doesn't play the first game, his hair isn't white because he's old. His hair is white ever since he was a child because he got scared really bad in an incident. And so his hair's been white since he was like at 6 or something. So he's associated with white, whereas York, the other character, is associated more with like dark colors and black, I guess, because his hair was a very dark brown, I think. I would think that Zach would be playing white just because that's the kind of thing that Swery cares about, is like the symbolism.
Mm-hmm.
And if so, why is white on the other side of the table? Also, York played chess. He was a very good chess player. He would play it with Usha, who was the doctor in the first game, who also played chess. Do you remember what color that York played when he was doing the puzzle? Because he didn't actually play a game of chess, but he was giving advice.
I think it was white.
I think it might have been white. I don't know. Oh, God. Again, that could totally not matter at all. Or it could totally matter. Like, we don't know.
Halfway through the game.
It is also worth noting that if white moves the knight that is off to the right side, that's about to be taken by the black bishop, then he's setting himself up for the queen being taken pretty easily. So he can't move the knight, otherwise his queen is in danger.
Yeah. Also, Davies said, looks like he stopped halfway through. I don't know if I'm overthinking it, and that's supposed to say that she doesn't know chess very well, that this is clearly the start of a game, like, near the beginning. But it could also
be halfway near the end, depending on how they're playing.
I guess, and it could also simply just be, they just picked a word that, it could have just been partway through instead of halfway through, and that's just simply the words they used. I could be overthinking it.
Are we 5 minutes in and have just gone away from the chess game?
3 minutes in, and now we're gonna go back to it.
Okay.
Because I want to ask about it.
That chessboard looks rather old, and you can't even buy those ivory pieces anymore.
Oh, you probably can.
Right. They were banned by the CITES Treaty.
That was made in France in the 1900s.
Huh.
We know it's in bad taste, but the weight of the ivory just feels so good in our hands.
You play chess alone?
Is that a crime?
Oh.
No. But it's a hard game to enjoy when you're all by yourself.
Clearly she hasn't seen the bonus video at the end of, I think it was Toy Story, called Jerry's Game, where it's just an old man playing chess in the park with himself.
Yeah, I remember that, actually.
Or trying to solve problems from a chess workbook. Right, Morgan? I may not look it, but I'm actually a bit of a chess nut myself.
A chestnut?
When I was in school, I used to pore over every issue of Chess Life, the magazine published by the U.S. Chess Federation.
Well, unfortunately, your guess is completely wrong, Agent Jones. He isn't replicating a famous game, nor is he solving workbook problems.
Why are you so mean?
There isn't a single chess book to be found in this apartment.
Do I know her voice actor?
I'll have a look.
It sounds very familiar. She wasn't Sheva from Resident Evil 5, was she?
And I didn't find any chess-related websites in his internet history.
It almost sounds a little like it could be her doing a different accent, but I'm not really sure.
He was simply playing chess.
I could be misremembering.
So,
Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like there's any
What's wrong with that,
indication
though?
as to voice credits just yet.
Okay.
I don't understand it. How could a single human being seriously play as both sides?
you just publicly confessed to stealing personal data.
What?
Seems like that's a much bigger problem.
Oh no. Everything was done in a perfectly legal manner.
What is that? What?
We simply happened to intercept a handful of data being sent out from an unknown origin.
I'm trying to figure out if she means the lack of chess books.
Yeah. Is what they're saying... So, Zach earlier accused, sorry, I'm blanking on his name now, the guy, with the glasses there.
Plain name, McPlain name.
Yeah, he accused him of having Zach under surveillance for years now. And he didn't deny it. He just said hi.
Yeah.
So, is this place bugged and Zach has known about it for years?
And he just doesn't care.
Ooh, now she's really trying to scare us.
Maybe.
Did you hear that, my fairy? Serious nightmare fuel.
I feel like I'm kind of on Zach's side here, to be honest. Okay. I don't know why I'd inspect that again. Now, she basically told us the case files are what we want. Is there a negative to inspecting the photo?
What happens if you hold L briefly? Both of them are important.
Huh.
Or, alternatively, both of them will cause new dialogue. Also worth noting that while you're in this mode, the top left eye icon, the concentration icon, isn't lowering anymore. It just consumes like a bar.
It's one set bar of it while I'm holding it, so I can hold it as long as I want, as long as I don't release and do it again. That's good to know. So either of these would be progress, I guess. Do we want to do the photo or the case file?
She said more is in the case file, so let's do the frozen body.
I agree.
You may be wondering why we decided to unearth all these old files.
Everything happens for a reason.
Unless both of them would lead to this same thing.
Maybe. Maybe just a little dialogue divergence.
Yeah.
Is that broken glass on the ground?
I know he has like an
Thompson's
IV
body
drip
was found. We did the
laying
best
around.
we
Actually,
could
there's
to
two of
start
them. There's
our
one on the
own
couch
local
there. I was looking at the one underneath it.
Yeah, I actually didn't notice those earlier. I couldn't tell what that was on the ground to his left.
His left.
Yeah. Hey, is that weird
hard to
lighting,
tell.
or is there a glove on his left hand? I think
think
it might
it's
just
weird
be
lighting.
lighting. Yeah.
It's
But there
lighting.
wasn't much we could actually investigate due to the damage caused by the hurricane.
Then we assume you also questioned everyone who worked in the warehouse.
Oh yeah, 2005 was Hurricane Katrina.
Oh yeah, it was, wasn't it? I only heard about that because, Canada, I'm pretty far away, but I had heard about that because that was a pretty big deal. Didn't that do really serious damage?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, didn't that, I'm pretty sure there was, a homelessness crisis after that, wasn't there? Because, homes
Yeah,
got annihilated.
It devastated New Orleans.
Yeah, you weren't in, Louisiana for that, right?
No, I would think I was in China at the time.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah, God, we would have both been fairly young then, I guess.
We questioned all the Clarkson
2005, I would
Services
have been
employees
11.
who staffed the warehouse and its
So-
owner.
Yeah, so I must have been 13 or something then.
12 or
yeah,
13, yeah.
I probably wouldn't have really learned much about it then. It would have been right before high school for me.
But we still have yet to obtain any key testimonies.
Par for the course with a 14-year-old case, if you ask me.
Huh.
Not to mention how bad the timing was. Most of the employees were on vacation.
So, you gave up on the investigation and came to see us instead.
Are they really never going to ask about the plural thing? I know he said don't ask me about it, but
Remember what happened, my fairy?
it just doesn't seem like she's the kind of person to let that go, She's being so prodding with everything. Why isn't she prodding that?
That warehouse. That man. So incoherent. Such a pain.
Hey, are you talking about the guy who managed the vault where Lisa's body was found? Yeah, I think he started working there in 2005. Remember, Aaliyah? You said he was a pain to deal with, too.
The large man, yes?
Okay. If there was a webcam on, you'd see my eyes get large there as I'm like, is this who I'm thinking of?
I wonder if it is in the coffee.
No need to answer.
Hey,
You don't want to.
that's an interesting point. I don't see a coffee mug or a coaster anywhere.
Oh, good point. I didn't think of that.
And like coffee was such an integral part of York's character. Does Zach not drink coffee?
Looks like he's drinking some sort of canned drink.
Yeah, it seems like he's really into whatever that is. Honestly,
Either soda or beer.
from the distance, it almost looks like one of those Japanese soft drink things. Maybe they just went with
Like
that look
Pocari
because
Sweat.
yeah, maybe they went for that look just because it's what Sweary's used to. But then again, I'm fairly sure Sweary spends a lot of time in America because he wanted it to look authentic. Like, he did a lot of location scouting for Deadly Premonition 1. I'm sure he would have done it for Deadly Premonition 2.
I'm sure you've already put him under surveillance.
Maybe it's some kind of American pop that I don't know.
Textbook FBI protocol.
You know, like Surge. You guys have Surge, right?
I'm not a big soft drink connoisseur, so
Yeah, I'm not either.
might not be where I am personally. It might be a more northern thing.
Yeah, I've visited America a few times when I was a kid, and they had a pop called Surge that we never sold in Canada. But I never hear people really bring it up. I don't think it was a popular drink.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't see any reason to ask about the chess game again.
It is giving us the option to, though.
Should
which is
we?
interesting. I don't know.
Okay, let's do this as an experiment to see if it'll give us different dialogue by investigating the same thing multiple times, because that's important to know.
Who is it? This My Fairy character
Oh.
you keep speaking to.
Oh, I didn't think that would lead to that.
You can't see her? Such bad manners.
I think he's just fucking with her.
You barge into our apartment, yet you don't even care about who else is living here.
It wouldn't surprise me if he believes that there is someone in his head, but it also wouldn't surprise me if he's simply fucking with her because he doesn't respect her. Because, like, they've been bugging him this whole time, and then they just barge into the apartment and start interrogating him, you know?
Mhm.
Dissociative identity disorder. In the past, it was known as multiple personality disorder.
Okay.
You were subjected to an internal probe only once during your career, correct? They suspected that you had DID, but you denied it. And no problems arose during your test. Is this how you dealt with the psychological profiler back then, too? Saying strange things, weaving unrelated matters together. Is that how you slipped through?
It's so awkward that clearly they had just recorded all these lines as a full thing. So they sometimes do an inhale, and then it just ends until you hit the A button. That's really awkward.
She inhales.
You're free to draw your own conclusions, Belle. But my fairy clearly exists. She's been sitting right there on your lap this entire time.
Oh,
Hey,
there's her exhale.
Stop it. No violence allowed in here, Belle. Wouldn't want to scare my fairy, now would we?
Why did she gasp?
She probably like slapped her knee or something.
She surely doesn't actually believe that anything's on her legs. She doesn't seem to believe any of his delusions.
Ramblings.
Isn't there someone else you should have talked to before coming to us? Such as...
We were unable to reach Patricia Clarkson. You look surprised. I thought you already knew.
Is Patricia Clarkson dead?
After all, you visited Louisiana last week.
Louisiana is a way of saying it with the appropriate accent, so
Okay.
maybe she is from
We
there.
assumed you met with her during your time there.
She sounds like what I associate a general Louisiana accent to be, but that's only through like little bits of TV and video games that take place there. I've never been, so I don't actually know how authentic that is.
Just think of Sam B from Dead Island.
We haven't been to Louisiana.
Is Sam B like authentically Louisiana accent?
I don't know, but he's from New Orleans. I'm sorry, New Orleans.
We haven't played that in like 7 years or something, in fairness.
Jesus.
14 years.
I rebeat it 5 years ago. The definitive edition. It's as bad as I remember.
Yeah, but was it as bad as Riptide?
so?
No.
No. Riptide found a way to break everything. The thing with Dead Island is the first chapter is really fun with friends, and then everything after the first chapter sucks.
Mm-hmm.
We've been right here in our apartment this entire time.
Okay, if this place actually is bugged, then surely we have footage of whether he left or not, right?
I think Simon would be the one to tell us that.
Yeah.
That man is our witness.
Yep, here we go.
Aren't you, Simon?
He's right. He didn't even take a single step outside on Christmas Eve. Which means that I didn't get to either.
Oh, wow. Your job is actually just to monitor him for your full-time shift every day? That sucks. Also, what's with the milk cartons and the duct tape in the background?
Maybe he's just keeping them ready to go in case he needs really sour milk.
Okay, this probably sounds really stupid, but the first thing that comes to mind as to what that could be is a fishing trap. If those are empty, and he duct tapes them all together, and he hangs a net through the middle, maybe that's some kind of
what? I'm not
makeshift
seeing any
fishing thing.
cartons. I'm not seeing any cartons in the middle of them, so...
And we do know that at least York liked to fish.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe?
Maybe.
That feels like the kind of thing I would have seen back out in Dunville, someone making their own fishing trap.
Are you positive about that?
Because I am from the countryside.
I took the liberty of checking some airline records. Last Friday, the name Billy Bishop was listed on a morning flight out of Boston. This is the fake name you used to use as an agent, isn't it?
He never used it in the previous game.
A mere coincidence.
Look, if we have footage of him still being in this room, then clearly he didn't go.
Yet that's not all.
What if it
That
was
evening
York?
on the same day,
That would be very confusing, but I can't put it past the game, you know?
a man with a large scar on his forehead allegedly purchased an '89 Cadillac from a small used car lot in Le Carré. He reportedly said he wanted something old, big, and strong.
Is Lucare how you would say that city?
I'd say Le Carré.
Because I was going to say I would say Lucare. Because again, I don't speak French, but I did learn French for 9 years. And so
Le Carré.
you don't actually learn the language if you aren't immersed in the language, of which most Canadians aren't, unless you live in Quebec. But because you learn it for 9 years, you kind of learn how to fake it. You learn how to say things that sound like they're French, and you learn how to listen and hear if something is natively French. And so that sounds almost right to me. But then again, it's Louisiana is location-wise so far away from French Canada that
It's got a different breed of French, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, Quebecois French is very nasally, and that's what I had to... Well, I learned kind of Acadian, kind of Quebecois mix, but again, I can't actually speak the language. I can just kind of fake my way through it a bit.
The owner of the car lot felt it was a strange order, so it stuck in his mind.
Again, I'm thinking this
Our
is
world
York.
is filled with mysteries.
I just realized this is probably a special, thing to our Let's Play that most people don't have, is we actually have someone who lives in Louisiana in the Let's Play. Huh.
I
always
can't
have the most
guarantee I'll
bizarre-
be very reliable when it comes to facts about Louisiana, though.
Oh yeah, it's not like you've lived there very much. I mean, you spent so much of your formative years overseas.
Yeah, but to be fair, I have spent the longest amount of time in Louisiana by comparison to any of my previous places.
Yeah, because weren't you born in Louisiana?
I was born in New Orleans and moved away when I was 4. Up until recently, I haven't lived in any place for longer than 4 years.
Yeah, which is crazy to me, because I've only ever lived in the same province. Smoking! Hold on, I need to hear this whole line.
Smoking.
Incidentally, on the following day, an identical Cadillac was taken to a scrapyard in Trenton, New Jersey.
How far is Boston from New Jersey? They're not the same state. I know that.
Yeah, no, Massachusetts and New Jersey are two different states.
They're both northeast, though.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
You can find that type of car anywhere.
A Cadillac? I don't really know much about cars, but I know that they're famous, so I'd imagine.
Isn't that right, my fairy?
His fairy is also a mechanic.
Dark laughter, specifically.
Morgan's right. Everything happens for a reason.
I don't know. I think a lot of things are arbitrary.
Even this messy room. There must be a reason for it.
I'm telling you, that chessboard has
Especially
symbolism.
when it comes to those
Yeah.
strangely tidy spots. They're practically begging me to question them.
Yeah, like that triangle.
Yeah, I'm actually really... Oh, no. We gotta ask about the DVDs first. We gotta know, because we know that he loves movies.
I noticed those before. I was thinking about trying to, like, bring them to your attention, but didn't know how to lead into it.
You know what that pile of DVDs makes me think of? It makes me think of, No More Heroes, the pile of wrestling VHS tapes.
Unfortunately, I haven't played No More Heroes. I need to.
You'd love it. The main character, Travis Touchdown, he used to be a pro wrestler, and he has a TV and an obsession with watching wrestling tapes.
Nice.
It's great because in the world of No More Heroes, professional wrestling is a real combat sport, and so he uses the pro wrestling moves he learns in his fighting. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
A stinking indulgence. And a
Emerald
massive
Dragon
DVD
2,
collection.
Aqua Time 2,
I'm sorry.
Circus Show.
I'm sorry. Is she shaming him for liking weed and movies? Oh my god, you do not know the joys of the world yet, lady.
You must
I
live
think
a
she's
very
shunning him
comfortable
or
life.
like criticizing him for his fascination in Ninja Police and Police Dogs.
It just, like, look, most of these titles that we're seeing here, we can investigate this. Thank God for the upscaler. We can investigate this as much as we want, but I'm just seeing a whole bunch of movie titles that sound like they'd be hilarious on Red Letter Media's Best of the Worst. Emerald's Dragon and Emerald Dragon 2.
Quinn Murder.
Oh my god. He has so many copies of... No. It actually... Police Dogs Volume 4, 3, 2,
Oh, there's Final Impact.
6. Oh my god, he actually has different... And one of the Police Dogs one is upside down, so it's on the other... Oh my god, the attention to detail in that is fantastic.
That's great.
I'm sorry for anyone who thinks we might be playing this really, really slow. I apologize for that, but, like, I'm really loving every little detail.
I'm sorry, there's a DVD called Kung Fu High.
I like Kung Fu High. I like Ninja Police. That sounds
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Off on the left, there's Richard Hotel.
Yeah? Oh, man. I could investigate this forever. We should move on.
We're retired, remember?
Retired in your 40s. I'm envious.
Yeah, he looks rough for his
Who
40s.
doesn't love movies, Belle?
He looks really rough for his 40s. Oh, my God. Like, the white hair,
so
that's...
this takes place before his granddaughter.
Yes, I guess it does. Oh my god, it's a sequel, a prequel, and a sequel to the original.
To the director's cut.
That's so confusing. Oh my god, yeah, because the director's cut of Deadly Premonition, which is the one that we Let's Played, had some, like, late game things put in that barely made any sense and really didn't need to be there, to be honest.
I'm not a fan.
Oh.
Oh, that won't do.
God, she hates fun.
You should dedicate all the free time you have to watching movies. It's practically an unwritten law. Films guide us.
I honestly completely relate, because I'm the same way with professional wrestling.
Films are filled with every important life lesson there is.
Yeah?
Is that so?
For example, they live.
Oh my god! The lead character in that was Rowdy Roddy Piper, famous professional wrestling Hall of Famer. Yes! And that's a John Carpenter film. And that movie had, at the time, the longest one-on-one street fight scene in a movie. And they were trying to do that. And it was really good, because they're like, we have a pro wrestler. let's just have a street fight. We can't waste that, right? And it was awesome. Oh, I love They Live.
1988, directed by John Carpenter. That film taught us a valuable lesson. Always put on your sunglasses before a fight.
I like that. For anyone who doesn't know, the sunglasses in They Live would allow the main character to be able to see who's a human and who's like some kind of alien monster in disguise.
You know, you've got a point.
That's not the correct body language for "you've got a point." That's closing your body off. Okay, that's fucking semantic right there. I shouldn't matter, but that doesn't matter.
I mean, if you're crossing your arms, you're also thinking.
Yeah. That right there could easily just be like, this is the animations we had.
I learned about the right way to eat frozen pizza from Cobra. It's one of Stallone's best films.
How did he eat frozen pizza in Cobra? I don't remember.
He might explain it.
Yeah, Cobra was good though.
Before that, I wouldn't be caught dead trying to eat frozen pizza. I thought it wasn't fit for human consumption, but that film changed my life.
Boston people, they really like pizza, right? That's a Boston thing? Because we have a franchise up here in Canada called Boston Pizza, and it's pretty good. They have good wings, actually.
Simon, that has nothing to do with the film.
You
We're
idiot.
just talking about pizza.
He's being so mean. I like Simon. Simon's just trying to relate to him. Vacant eyes or another strangely clean spot? Okay, I want to know about the vacant eyes because I think the clean spot is going to lead to something.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Morgan, may I ask you a question purely out of curiosity? If it makes you uncomfortable, just let me know,
Well, why do you care now?
and I'll retract it.
Belle, what's wrong? You sure put a lot of effort into that approach.
It's a question about death.
About this body?
Yeah, he's sick, isn't he?
Are you afraid
Is he dying?
of what's coming?
Does he have
Okay.
cancer?
They know something we don't.
Think carefully about why we're smoking this, then ask us again.
He's terminal, isn't he? The jacket and everything, the house coat.
Mm,
We're not
he hasn't
afraid.
left the house.
He's losing hair. Well, okay, he's 40. I'm losing hair and I'm 27, in fairness.
Rather, we find it intriguing.
Intriguing.
Yes. Belle, have you ever been to the Grand Canyon in winter?
No.
In the dead of winter, the Grand Canyon is terribly cold.
No shit.
Colder than you could imagine. A cold that no photograph could ever express. The sun. Powerless. And the temperature drops below 0.
Fahrenheit or he's American, right? So Fahrenheit probably?
Yeah, so it would be Fahrenheit.
Okay, below 0 Fahrenheit's really cold, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, because I'm Canadian, we use Celsius, and below 0 just means freezing.
Yeah, I think just generally below 0 means freezing, but over here it would be below 32. I guess that makes it a bit tougher to say.
Yeah, 32 is your freezing point, right? And
oh,
then...
no. Okay, so below 0 in this case is just a phrase to mean below freezing.
Okay.
Right in the middle of the day.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's Canada a lot of the time.
Meaning?
But in fairness, the Grand Canyon's a lot farther south than Canada.
It's in Arizona, but in
Mm-hmm.
the winter, I'd imagine the sun doesn't, like, heat up the ground as much, and the canyon has a lot of walls surrounding things. So if you go deeper into the canyon, you get really cold really fast.
It's probably also a very stark difference between that and the rest of Arizona, considering Arizona is probably the hottest state in terms of average temperature year-round.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really understand something until you experience it for yourself.
I would imagine the hottest would either be the most southern tip of Texas, or it'd be somewhere in, like, New Mexico or Nevada.
If you want to learn more about
Arizona, somewhere there.
Nevada, I think, is a bit too far north.
West? North.
West and north, yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's along the Mexican border, but isn't it the population centers are a bit farther north than the border?
That might be right.
Ooh.
California is also pretty warm, though.
My American geography is pretty good for a Canadian, but not amazing.
Well,
Mine's pretty bad for an American.
You've barely been in America, in fairness.
Yeah.
You spent like 5 years in the Middle East.
4, but yeah.
4, yeah. Hot to you is probably very different than hot to me. Like, I'm in a heat wave where it's like above 40 Celsius every day with the Humidex, which is really bad. And it's, you know, where most Canadians live, southern Ontario. But I'm sure it gets worse in Louisiana.
It's currently 91 Fahrenheit over here.
91 Fahrenheit. I don't know
I wonder what that
would be
translates to. Let me actually pull that up.
I think this room is actually hotter than that.
I cannot tell on my phone. Oh, well.
Okay. I want to see this empty thing on the
Do
couch.
you like fresh vegetable juice?
Is that what he's been drinking, like V8?
why would you think that?
There's a juicer in your sink that hasn't been washed yet.
35
And do I
Celsius.
smell the faint fragrance
Oh.
of baked beans?
Yeah, believe it or not, it's actually hotter right now here than there.
Gotcha.
People always think of Canada as really, really cold, but they forget that about 35% of the population lives in the Golden Horseshoe, which is in between the Great Lakes. And it gets both wickedly hot and wickedly cold here. It's awful.
You didn't use much salt. did
Also,
you?
since the Earth rotates on an axis, I'm imagining that you're also like smack dab where the sun hits the hardest in the summer.
Kind of. It's high elevation, but it also has the flatlands of the Great Lakes. And so the winds will come down the mountains on one side or come down the high elevation, and they'll collide with the lake, which is basically flatland. And that, from all the directions happening at the same time, causes freak weather and storms, as well as extreme colds and hots. And this is where the majority of Canadians live, or the largest population center, which is why, like, Toronto, basically, which I live outside of, has such wild temperature ranges in comparison to the majority of the Americas. Anyway, no one cares about that.
What are you implying?
You just told me that you find impending death to be intriguing. That confused me.
No. I guess it only confuses her because she doesn't smoke weed. That's the kind of thing that you think about with weed sometimes, and those thoughts don't really bother you when you're on it. You're just inquisitive, you know?
When I look around your room, all I can see are the many ways in which you're resisting death. Poly-MVA treatment, highly concentrated vitamin C IVs.
It's just a bag with orange juice in it.
Vitamin C IVs. I've never heard of that.
Fresh vegetable juice. Vegetable protein without salt.
I mean, you'd get a lot more fiber out of it if you just ate the oranges and stuff rather than juicing it.
Gallons of vitamin D milk for fat and calcium.
I still don't get what the whole taped together thing is about.
The ambivalence, yes.
Zach, are you aware you can just purchase a men's multivitamin?
What?
Two contradictory emotions, mixing, coexisting together. An adult, mature mind is never satisfied with only one response. It's common sense. Isn't that right, my fairy?
So he didn't say exactly what's wrong with him, but I think it's fair to say he has something that is terminal, right?
Yeah.
Like, they keep talking about the impending death. I get the feeling there is public information that hasn't been said out loud yet of, like, he is dying. Because he looks like he's dying. Alright. Man, we're like over an hour into the game. Because there's so much shit to talk about in this. And we haven't even gotten to, like, the actual running around town gameplay yet. Wow.
Probably because we're also rambling at points.
We are. I hope people find it interesting. I'm excited to read the comments and see what people think. All right, next episode, everybody. We finally learn about the strangely clean spot. Until next time, have a nice day.
See ya.